Hello, and welcome to our Sunday meditation at the Light Institute of Galisteo and the Sanctuary of Light. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we divide our meditation into 3 parts so that we can access all the different aspects of that meditative state and how we wield that in our lives. We begin in the first part by asking our higher self. It's the intuitive essence of our soul, our own inner voice, to take a form for us so that our consciousness and the mind of the cells of our body can align to those higher frequencies. That expands our perception, expands our potential and our consciousness. And then we ask our higher self, as it's taken a form, to touch our body, to align with us, and then to enter our body. Then I'll make a sort of Om sound so that you can push a button on your apparatus and sit in meditation for as long as you like. In the second part of the meditation, we practice what we call the Art of Radiance. Because we are beings of light, everything is made of light. And so we imagine that we're reaching up into the cosmos and we draw down through the top of our head and down into our stomach, our solar plexus. This is the center of our emotional body. And from there we laser that light out across the planet and back up into the sky. You can do that by breathing in, drawing the white light down and extending it out. This will expand your visibility and your sense of purpose, and you can continue to do that with your breath. It will take you into a deep meditative state. Again, another sound. And in the third part of the meditation, each week people will suggest something for us to extend our conscious awareness out into the world. And this week, because wild animals, specifically the giraffes of Africa, whom I love very much, have been dying of the droughts, of the terrible droughts. And so let us imagine that we call the rain into these areas where the giraffes and all of the wild animals are suffering. One aspect of that is to imagine that you take it from areas of the world where they're having too much rain and suffering, and animals and people are having a difficult time. So you could take the rain from there and superimpose it over Africa. That's one way to do it that sort of catches all levels of that hologram. So we will send this rain into Africa. And I suggest that once we have done that, for as long as you can remember it, you continue to do that as you're going about your day. Contemplate that drought and imagine the rain coming down, and it will happen. So let's begin our meditation. We'll begin with breath, so that by exhalation we slow our brain down into the alpha states of meditation. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply into your nose. And exhale so slowly, slowing your brain into alpha. And once again, breathe in through your nose. And again, exhale slowly. Ask your higher self, the intuitive essence of your soul, your own inner voice, to take a form for you. It could be a being, or a light, a tree, an animal, an equation. Just take a deep breath and ask your higher self to take a form for you at this moment. Ask your higher self to touch your body where you hold your own divine essence, your divine source at this moment. And just imagine anywhere in your body that your higher self is touching you, creating and opening a spin point. Breathe into that touch so that you begin to access the frequencies of your higher self. And now imagine that you're drawing your higher self in through that point, into your body, so that you can sit in meditation as your own higher self. Om. Take a deep breath into your body and reach up into the cosmos and bring down a beam of pure, powerful white light down through the top of your head, down into your solar plexus, stomach, and laser that white light out from you across the planet and back into the sky. Breathe in and draw the white light down and feel it quickening you, expanding your consciousness, enlightening you, and laser it out across the planet. And continue that to deepen your meditation and to bring yourself into a vibration of pure light. Om. Take a deep breath into your body and bring into your mind's eye the giraffes of Africa, or all of Africa, all the plains, all the millions of animals, wild animals there that are suffering from the drought. And ask your higher self to help you now. And imagine that you are pulling down from the cosmos a beautiful rain, a long rain, but a gentle rain that is raining. Imagine it filling up the lakes and the water holes. You can feel as if you're taking that water, that excess rain, and moving it across the planet so that it is above Africa, and then you draw it down. The rain loves to rain. So feel that you're superimposing that rain where it needs to be on the planet. And as you bring it down, a perfect rain, not too violent, not too light, but perfect. Imagine the sound of it, the smell of it, the sight of it. And feel as if, as you do that, it is bringing life back to all the animals that are suffering. And breathe deeply into your body and open your eyes. We have a second part of our meditation here. It's called knowings. It's a wonderful, wonderful moment that we can share together, where people from around the planet extend to us questions that are dear to their hearts, so that we can converse about them and uplift ourselves through the illumination of that conversation, and all of you who are participating. So we'll see what these questions are this week. Allison?
The first question is from Manhattan, or New York, New York, in the USA. Chris, I'm an author in a large city, have been trying to work all day. There's a silly truck outside my window and it is beeping every time it backs up. Why, oh why do we create such intrusive inventions that not only disturb humans but plants and animals? I'm almost in tears from having to endure the constant beeping of the truck, but writing you has made me feel better. I truly hope you can offer some feedback on how to deal with disruptive intrusions from the outside and how we can change the pattern of toxic inventions. Bless you for your ever-steady wisdom in a planetary time of absolute chaos.
Oh my. Well, again, I smile about that because so many artists have that same difficulty, that they need a quiet place, or they need to be away, and yet they can't be. And so there is a disruption to their creative flow. But what I'd like to say to you is, first of all, contemplate that when we're attempting to be creative, We can be distracted by anything, but that distraction can be a part of because I can't get it done, or it's not the way I want it because of that. So right away, you want to clear away from inside you that the outside can influence your creativity, because after all, your creativity is coming from your higher self. It's coming from your deepest resources. And so you want to shift that so that nothing can disturb that. So we'll do a little exercise about that first, so that you can remove from you a place where the outside world has power over your creativity, or any kind of justification that keeps you from doing what you're attempting to do, but maybe not so secure that you can do it. But you can. So close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath into your body and ask your body where it holds the beautiful, unlimited, infinite resource of creativity to express what's your deepest desire to express effortlessly. And so ask your body where it holds that deep resource that gives you the creativity in the first place. Anywhere in your body that you feel that. And bring your conscious awareness to that place in your body. And imagine that you could prick it open so that that unending flow of creativity that cannot be blocked, it cannot be limited by anything outside you, flows through the trillions of cells of your body and awakens them, amplifies the energies of creativity that are flowing through you, so that you could do this writing, you could express this wherever you are, because it's not the outside world, it's the gift that comes from inside you that matters. So breathe deeply, feel that flowing through you, and then imagine that you're extending that creative energy as if you'd already finished whatever you're writing right now, that you extend it out, that it's already out into the world, and that you are pleased with what you have done because it represents your perfect creative power. And open your eyes. So that's a good way to, when you're going to begin working, I would recommend spinning around so that you clear your brain, so that these higher energies where your higher self can show you, the segues can show you exactly what it is that's been sitting in there waiting for you to become aware of it, to bring it forth. Now the second part of that is that instead of the outside world influencing us, we want to use whatever is in the world for what serves the highest good. So if you're listening to that, and it is an obnoxious sound, that sound of a truck backing up, but I learned to do this a long time ago. You can shift how your brain interprets that sound. So for example, what if every time the truck backed up and it went bing, 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 you programmed your mind to say, that sound is stimulating my neurotransmitters. That sound is awakening my focus and bringing me to a higher octave, so that instead of resisting that sound, you use that sound as, again, a stimulation in your brain, a stimulation that allows you to find the segues, to find the humor, to find whatever it is that you need to bring forward. And so you can do that. It's not hard at all to do, to hear that sound, or even bring it forward in your mind's eye and interpret that and say, this is for you. Wake up, brain, and give me what I want. And so you can use what's outside you rather than it using you. And do remember that whoever is driving that truck, imagine for them that they are caught in that sound all day long. But another way to do that is to send light to them so that, again, they are working and they are paying for their family and caring for their lives. And so, again, every way around the hologram that you can participate, because the giver has the power, and send energy. So, for example, you could bring that driver into your mind's eye and ask him or her what color they need from you to be able to do that gracefully. And another aspect of that kind of exercise of consciousness is to just imagine that you send out a frequency that says, in this area, no trucks will come while I'm riding. Because I'm sure that you have a certain time of day that you do your most creative work. And you could ask your higher self or your body at 5 in the morning, at 4 in the morning, at 6 at night, what is the most creative time for me to write? Because none of us write all day long. We fidget around. But that powerful source doesn't need time. All it needs is an uninterrupted flow to come through us. And that's why sometimes in an hour you could write what would take you a day if your consciousness is in the right place. So the third part of this is that you could create a space that says, at this time, I am writing. And so no trucks have to come here. And yes, we have in our technology created all this imbalance that does hurt the plants, the animals, the two-leggeds. And another way of using your consciousness is to awaken, to send out an energy into the creative force of all humanity, to come up with more synergistic, more balanced, more wonderful ways to use our technology or to create new technology that is not disruptive to the ethers and to life itself. So it's just a matter of what you place in your consciousness and how you put it out. And you can do it. I send you support for your endeavors. Allison.
The second question is from Scotland.
Scotland.
Dear Chris, I almost killed my parrot by getting so mad at my sister. We had a big row, and my parrot lost its appetite immediately after. He's making a comeback, but I really almost lost him. I would appreciate you addressing how our emotions affect pets. It seems important that we consider how our angry outbursts can hurt them.
Oh, thank you for that question as well, because it's so very true. And the reason that it's true is that animals and their consciousness is in what we would call several layers of the astral dimension. The astral dimension is in simultaneous space with us. There's only a veil, and sometimes we have a lot of intuition or sensitivities to various different energies that are circulating around in the ethers. Well, animals are always tuning into that. And emotional energies, when you say something or feel something, you don't even have to say it. If you're feeling something strongly, it will flow out through your auric field, that electromagnetic body, which represents and is the body, the physiological, we could say, body, because of its colors, because of its frequencies, of your emotional body. And that radiates out from you. You cannot stop that. And so animals pick that up because it moves right into the astral. It is astral with them. And so they are affected by it. They cannot tune it away. This is why so often when you're feeling sad or even happy or something, your parrot or your dog or your cat or somebody, some animal will come to you, or they will hide from you because they're feeling your energies. Very often they want to comfort you. But your parrot, who's obviously, because parrot and human relationships are very interdependent. You cannot just go away from your parrot. You must be continually feeding and nourishing and paying attention to your parrot. So your parrot is very, very attuned to your energies. And so I think it's wonderful that you've brought this up so that all of us could realize that when you're spewing something into the ethers, your plants even will pick that up. And it will influence their life force energy. So if you happen to have a blowout with somebody and you're home, and it's possible that you could even be in a different place and your parrot would feel it. Certainly your four-leggeds would feel it. And so what you would want to do then is to send them a color. What color do you need from me to know that it's all right and that you are safe? And just draw that color always. You never take it from you, but they get it because you are the channel of it. And so you draw it just as we did earlier in meditation from the cosmos, and you extend it out to your parrot. And that will soothe your parrot. It's amazing how quickly animals will respond to frequencies of light. So you want to be able to say, it's not about you, everything is okay, you are safe, you can eat now. And it's very true that parrots and animals are just like humans, that when we become emotionally upset, it stimulates our fight or flight, our sympathetic nervous system, and so we can't digest and we can't eat. And so that's what happened to your parrot. So what you want to do is always include them in the healing of yourself. When you realize that you've spewed something, and then you want to uplift, you want to quicken your frequency and convey to them it's okay. And especially that you're okay, because they care about you. What makes you choose that parrot? Or what makes that animal choose you? We have a funny expression that says, that cats, for example, you never own a cat owns you. Well, I think that's true of all animals. There is a reason that we choose that animal, and that animal chooses us as well. And so once we know that, then we can take that extra level of higher frequencies to nourish the health of our friends and ourselves. Great love. Alison, it's another.
The last question is from Finland.
From Finland.
Dear Chris, your global echelon about visionaries and the arc of time changed my life.
Oh.
You talked about sculpting time and said that holding something that happened at a specific time, whatever it is, we associate with it, and the associations can, quote unquote, swallow us up into the darkness of the past. Mm-hmm. We're coming up on Christmas, and I live in the land of Santa Claus. And this has been part of our culture forever. But with no disrespect for Christmas or other holidays, I would like to know what you think of traditions, and if we should move on from these, if they are holding back our evolution in some tethering way.
Oh my, well, Finland, indeed you are the place of Santa Claus and the reindeer, and I have had the gift of coming to your place and moving amongst the reindeer, and so it's very special to me. And there always is that association that we think of Christmas, we think of Christmas trees, we think of reindeers, we think of sleighs, we think of Santa Claus. But one thing is true, and that is that cultures create traditions for a purpose. And that purpose is always to bring together families and communities. And so the legacy of that marking of time of what I would call not just Christmas, but we call this the time of light. Many different traditions and religions use certain times, and especially this time of year, to have particular traditions that they have. So what I would say is, it's not the tradition or the marking of that moment in the association that comes to it. And it is very important to discuss, as we were talking about, that when we talk about the darkness of time, is because of those associations. For example, with Christmas or holiday times where there's the giving and receiving of presents, for example, that people get entrapped in that from the times of their childhood. Did I get as much as my sibling? Did I get as much as my friends? We have that thing, you better be good because Santa will know. What a negative concept that is, that you have to be good so you can be given a present. What I would say is that we want to shift our associations. So one thing that you could do is to look and see, do you have any negative associations with that? Of, the burden of finding presents for somebody, or doing something, or making the food, or whatever that is, so that becomes something that is not a burden. And here's my bottom line. So it's not the traditions themselves, it's the way we respond to them and the way we are affected by them that we can change. We can change how we use traditions. And in the world today, where it's not so easy to rush out and spend a fortune on some high value thing to give to somebody else, but rather to realize what is at the base of, for example, the giving or the receiving of gifts. It's to say, I love you. It's to say, I want you to be happy. How many ways can you make others happy and they can make you happy? That's what I would say. What do we need to do? We need to polish our traditions so that they serve today's world and that they serve the deepest energies of our hearts. Not that we owe something to a tradition, or that we are not upholding our religion or our family or our community if we don't do something, but rather to be creative and to use that marking of time as an opportunity to express something that you could express at that moment and let that ripple through time. So I hope that helps you to imagine for yourself ways to sort of evolve the traditions that we have so that they are filled with what they were created for. The energies that bring us together, the energies that make us feel safe and happy, and to know that you can be the source of creating that for yourself and for those around you. Great love and happy holidays to you.